I seen a creator on here talking about people need to stop moving and bouncing around. That's why the rent high. Just renew your lease, like all this other stuff. But let me give you the perspective of a mover.
What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of The Red Pill. Rent has gotten out of control, and people are struggling just to put food on the table. These days, paying rent feels like a luxury. How long can things stay like this? Is there any hope it's going to get better? Watch the video, and let me know what you think in the comment below.
I seen a creator on here talking about people need to stop moving and bouncing around. That's why the rent high. Just renew your lease, like all this other stuff. But let me give you the perspective of a mover, right? I've had 5 apartments in the last 5 years. Let me tell you why. In one of my apartments, my lease was up. They sent me a renewal offer. They said your rent's going up $150. I said, why? Nothing has changed in this place. If anything, it should go down. Like all the damages I've caused in here and my kid. So, but it's going up. They said, yeah, the market, blah, blah. The market. Okay. Do my research. I pull up the website. There's a unit next door available. Same layout, same floor plan, same style. And there's no new renovations. $200 cheaper than what I'm paying currently. Not the new rent. That would have been $350 cheaper. What I have now, it was $200 cheaper than that. But what's the catch? It's for new tenants. New business. Okay. So I try to call them, try to figure this out. Hey, bro, by the way, can I just move in that one? Because I'm going to just move in there. It's $200 cheaper, same floor plan, same everything. We good, right? No, you actually have to pay a $500 transfer fee just to move units. And then on top of that, you don't get that new price, that new rent. That's only for new tenants. Since you're an existing tenant, it would just be the same rent as your other place. Make it make sense. So then I said, you know what? Screw it. We gone. 60 days, here you go. We out. I checked the apartment website. What do you know? The unit that I'm moving out of is now $200 cheaper for a new tenant. You see how that works? It's not us. It's the apartment complexes. It's the scam that they have going on. But this is the best part. When you pull up a new complex, they will have newer renovations and they'll give you 2 months free just because you're a new tenant moving in. And your rent is going to be cheaper than the last place you stayed at. So while moving costs and all of that sucks, for sure, I hate doing that. In the long run, I have a cheaper place, a nicer place, and 2 months free. So that is why I move around. It's not our fault at all. It's the apartment's fault. It's the apartment industry.
I'm trying to enjoy my last days within this unit that I've been renting for so long. Really sad that I have to leave because they decided to raise my rent $700, and I already pay $2,300 without parking fees, which is $185, and plus utilities. So I'm paying $2,600 a month, and they still decided to raise my rent for another $700. So they want me to pay now $3,000 base rent. Are you kidding me?
In today's episode of The Toronto Rental Market Sucks, we have shared room for rent, walk in with high ceiling for $650. So this is actually, you're renting a bunk on a bunk bed. Not only that, but it's very evident that this room is just the front foyer of a house. My guess is that the owner of the house subdivided it into as many possible apartments, and the front foyer, and ready for this, the unfinished garage, yeah, that's what makes up this apartment. $650 to rent a bunk on a bunk bed in a foyer in Oakville and have an unfinished garage as your living room / kitchen. What the fuck?
Bro, if I knew how bad the economy was going to be up to date, I wouldn't have been riding no bikes, playing no video games. I would have bought a house when I was 10. They did a study based on today's economy. Like, what should minimum wage be based on today's economy to make sure an American is comfortable living a day-to-day life, like with the prices, how the prices is up to date. Bro, do you know how much they say you need to make an hour to be comfortable around this motherfucker? $66 fucking dollars an hour. $66 an hour, bro. Who the fuck making that? That ain't even the kicker. You make $66 an hour. You work 40 hours a week. At the end of the month, guess how much you gonna have in whole? 10 bands. Oh no, but don't think you taking the whole 10 bands. You forgot about Uncle Sam. You're going home with 6,500. Maybe a 7-ball if you lucky. Okay, so eliminate all the bills and life expenses from that 6,500. You left, even motherfuckers who making $66 an hour after paying all their bills and life expenses at the end of the month, they only gonna be able to save a band or two a month. So regular motherfuckers like me and you was just cooked. We po. We just at this point we just on the internet seeing who can be po better. Who can be best at being po.
So much money gone. Let's pay rent for the first time in Q4. It's October 1st, which means two things. One, we gotta pay rent, and two, it's officially spooky season. All right, so I just pulled up the payment portal. Let's do it. Fuck! The actual rent for this 2-2 penthouse in Palm Beach, Florida comes out to $41.90, but then you have a bunch of extra fees, so let's go through them. Starting off with the trash fee, which is $11.15. The water charge is $18.87. There's another water charge for $6.83. Then there's a service fee of $3.61. The sewer charge is $13.53. Then we have an additional parking fee of $125, which me and my roommate split. The internet fee is $55. Honestly, I'd be willing to pay double that if I could get better internet. The internet here sucks. And the last fee is the amenity and technology fee, which comes up to $45, which is actually really low for a luxury building like this. We have a movie theater, golf simulator, game room, as well as a really, really cool amenity deck with a beautiful pool. My biggest gripe with the building is that we don't have a sauna, but I guess it's okay because we live in Florida. We can just go walk outside. And lastly, we have the FPL bill, which comes out to $79.38, which brings a grand total to $4,549.26. Divide that by 2 because me and my roommate split that, and I have to pay $2,274.63. And the sad thing is I'm going to be traveling all this month, so I'm not going to really be able to enjoy it, but that's okay. It's part of being an adult, and at the end of the day, I'm so fucking grateful.
Rent is so expensive that minimum wage workers need 3 roommates or 4 jobs to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. In fact, there's not a single state in America where a minimum wage worker that's full-time can afford a 2-bedroom apartment. So look at this for example. If you live in Alabama where the minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, you'd have to work 90 hours a week to afford a 2-bedroom. Now you would need to work 74 hours a week to afford the average 1-bedroom apartment in Alabama at the minimum wage. So someone explain to me why we're pretending that workers are the problem when it's the corporations that are arbitrarily pushing up prices on rent, food, laying off workers, all to maximize their profits. Like, how is this system that we're currently living in sustainable? Rent is so expensive that minimum wage workers need 3 roommates or 4 jobs to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. In fact, there's not a single state in America where a minimum wage worker that's full-time can afford a 2-bedroom apartment. So look at this for example. If you live in Alabama where the minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, you'd have to work 90 hours a week to afford a 2-bedroom. Now you would need to work 74 hours a week.
Yo, let me know what you think in the comment. Like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.